What up, my favorite people? It's your boy once again with another recording session. This is a stream, but basically a recording session because YouTube videos. Makofi kwangu sasa. Basi na mambo mingi yenye nipeleka leo. Nitafanya section refu ama nitafanya session fupi. Hii wiki yote sijafanya sessions. Na nilikuwa nimejiambia discipline. Na adui kilia discipline lakini wapi? Ndio hii sasa. Sasa kuna story fulani ya KC3, the one and only goat. Hizi vitu sijui apply Streamers University lakini anyway. Kuweza kuapply shule. Vibes. Tunataka watu wenye wameenda nini? Nasikia anachagua watu amechagua kina Duke Dennis. Mambo zetu zake. Ili kwa tu kitu ya content. Like I keep telling my people. Most things these guys do, they only do it for content. Hamna mambo gani. But sasa iko na story mingi. Sasa niko na video yenye nafanya nione. What's up YouTube? Kaisanat is already regretting Streamers University by Ohamaze. Let's get it.
Different when it's like, it's like handpicked and it's just so spiteful.
I'm sure everybody's seen it by now, but Kaisanat Streamer University has not gone the way he's planned it to go.
This is an idea, and I know how exciting it may be to certain people, but it's like, bro, you don't have to let this determine who you are as a creator. I'm telling y'all, that's the thing. Like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing this again. No, man. Cause like, no matter which direction I go, no matter which way I try to make sure thing is good, I always get the bad end of the stick. My bank statements is ridiculous behind this shit. Nobody's paying a dime to be in this shit. This is strictly for me to help.
He's getting backlash about the people that are chosen to be the professors, the actual participants, you know.
Gina inakakuwa expensive ku rent out a whole shule. Like
the curriculum to how the classes are even going to be run before the school is going to be run. And I don't even know how we got here. A few months ago, Kaisanat announced what I thought to be one of the more brilliant ideas in Streamer University, a place and space for him to bring together people who are content creators, people who are streamers, people who just do a bunch of content in one gathering and have them, grow, learn, and ultimately be able to create content with each other.
I'm going to rent out a university over a course of a weekend. It'll be Streaming University, okay? I'm going to rent it out. I'm going to put out enrolls and applications of people to enroll into the university. No matter if you're big, no matter if you're a small streamer, you can stream the entire weekend. I will get dorms. Boys will have their own shit. Girls will have their own shit. I'm principal. So I'm gonna have my own office and all this types of shit. Alright, I'm gonna try to find a PC company to collab with, give everyone PCs for the dorming so that they can do their setups. They can do if you want to be a desktop in your dorm and you want to have your desktop stream, so be it. If you want to be an IRL stream, so be it.
Now, this is not a lore video, but I know a lot about Kaisanat, so I'm going to give a little bit of background here. See, Kaisanat came up as a content creator who got famous on YouTube specifically. He got a big push because he did a lot of videos out of his college dorm room, his first semester or only year of college or whatever. That's when he set up the ding dong ditches, the relationships, the, ratings videos. All of it was based out of his college and his college dorm room. And since he dropped out, Kaisanat has always had an affinity for school, the school environment, any sort of content relating that. He's done and pitched numerous
I really want
any sort of content relating that. He's done and pitched numerous school-related videos on his channel, the AMP channel, and has gone with that aesthetic for a very, very long time. I even helped him do like a daycare video, which isn't the traditional school that y'all are thinking, but it's adjacent. Hell, I even helped do the Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grade video on the AMP channel, which is school adjacent. So when he announced Streamer University, it sparked nationwide, hell, even worldwide frenzy. Like 7 million people applied, the site had crashed a couple of times, and it was filled with a bunch of expectations about what would be going on at Streamer University. And Kaisanat set the record straight, so I don't know why all these people are mad at him.
It is completely free. If you are selected, you will be living on a college campus. You're not learning how to stream. That's not I'm not teaching you
That
how to
ain't
stream.
it.
If you
That
are
ain't
in,
it.
you already know how to stream.
Mbona
This is for
nani aliproduce hiyo idea? I think wanafanya ni kama venye wanadhani venye alipushingi Ray akapushingi T2 funny. Jamaa Reggie akapushingi ataje boys mwana ananga annoying as fuck. Anaanga na Madrid fake anashinda kinini juzi kidogo tu analipua tu rooms. Huyo Rakai wakaona hivyo wanadhani sasa hii sasa anataka kufanya hivyo in a large scale. No nigga, this is content. It's always for content. Yeah, you have to understand that.
for not only connections but for the latest content. This is shit that's gonna elevate, hopefully, like give y'all a fire experience. I can't have all these classes of just, oh yeah, download OBS, guys. Once you download OBS, you need at least 5 mods in your chat, guy. How the fuck do I look doing that? That's dumb as shit. If you are a nigga in the hood and there was no bone in your body to make content until you seen Streaming University, you're not getting in. I'm going to go ahead and keep it 100 with niggas, gang. You're not about to fulfill a nigga's spot who genuinely loves the content shit.
The reason why he had to explain that is because people went with their own narratives.
YouTube is free. God damn.
And imaginations as to what Streamer University is and was and who it was for. But it sounds pretty clear to me. It's a place and space for content to be made. No different than the times that he's done the jail stream or any sort of big marathon streams, or hell, the houses that he has now, whether it be the AMP house or the AMP G League house. It's just a place and space for him to create content with other content creators that he finds interesting, up and coming, whatever the case may be. There were so many people that thought they would get the Kai Cenat stimulus package, and that's just not the case.
First thing first, nigga, if you don't need to be as constant as Streamer University, stop applying. I just saw a nigga apply and make a video. I looked at his page, he had 3.5 million! 3.5 million! 3.5 million followers on TikTok. What the fuck do you need to Streamer University?
That's crazy. Mbona una apply kwa kitu yenye already but sasa okay, nikienda kwa hiyo logic hadi anafaa apply. You itampush even further.
While I'm sitting over here with 2,355 to be exact.
And this isn't a knock onto this person specifically, but I've been in situations and places and spaces where upcoming creators have been on different platforms and the content is just not there. Now, should there have potentially been some sort of mix between super small creator, medium creator, all this, that, and the third? No, honest, I didn't pick it. So it's not about who I really want to see in the Streamer University or whatever the case may be. It's not relevant to me. Thinking that this was going to be the put on of all put-ons, a handout of all handouts is something that I ultimately do not co-sign. Like I don't think that this was gonna be it. So for that person who streams 2 times a month and thinks that this is going to be the way for them to get out of the hood, as Kai said, listen,
bro, you don't have to attack me. Okay, do it twice a week, but just because I don't have time, nigga. What?
You kind of set yourself up for the okie doke and failure. Now, not only did the applications have people getting into a frenzy and a spiral, but when Kai Cenat announced who's going to be the professors and who the ultimate streamers were, whew, I hate to see him. I hate to see him go down like this. People were critical not only of people like Cooking with Kaya or India Love being in the Streamer University professor category, but they were also upset that DDG, who is currently going through some accusations and allegations.
DDG already akona mambo yake kakoti. Na kwanza history ya DDG ni kweli kweli. I don't know, I'm so tough.
Right now, we're in the Streamer University professor pool. But look, if we don't come into it with a mindset of expectations for how we can benefit and just consume it for the content and what it is, all of this honestly makes sense to me. Why there is so much backlash about these people, you know, the women being professors, I have no clue. Knowing Kai Cenat for this long, he believes that women make the content lit. I agree with him. So I don't understand why people are so upset about this. This is like super unemployed news.
Kai Cenat literally lied to all of y'all, and Streamer University is literally meant for big streamers and his friends. I felt like I knew this, like deep down, I was like, there's no way he was gonna invite people that don't know.
I feel like I knew this. Nilikuwa najua, nilikuwa nangoja nyinyi mkacha. Sipendi watu kao.
the streamers. He obviously invited people that already are well established, and the
He did not
reason
know
is because
anything.
Kai Cenat wants to make
And
more
content
money. He wants to
creator,
profit off of this opportunity. It's gonna bring a lot of viewers, right? Nobody has heard of a streamer university, so he's the first one to do it. And guess what? He's gonna invite people that are already well known. But it kind of sucks for the majority of people because Kai Cenat said it to himself that he's gonna invite people that are starting off or people that are really small, right? That deserves to have spotlight or the chance to become a big streamer. But that is not the case because you see the list, it's all people that he know or it's already people that are very big.
And if you apply for streaming university, you rigged yourself. I didn't because I already know what was going on. Kai Cenat was only looking for motherfucking people with platforms who were gonna build streaming university.
Honest to God, siwezi take mtu serious na akona roasting na any kijana. You only want the tea.
Because he couldn't do it himself. He only accepted people who had over 150,000 followers, and it was barely any white people on that list. I'd like to tell y'all something. When you see a big creator doing something like that, like trying to help you build your platform, no, it's not for your benefit, it's for their benefit. The only way you'll get that benefit is if you're doing
Exactly. Yeye ndo analipa hii kitu. Pesa yote ndio inatoka kwake. Yeye ndo ameseta hii kitu, ataifanya venye anaitaka.
better than the people that you're competing with. Like, hello, it's y'all fault.
I'm watching Kai Cenat stream, wondering why he got his friends in the streamer university when they already got a platform. They already be on your stream. So if people not watching them by them being on your stream, then why the fuck is they in streaming university?
I think there's this idea about how stimulus packages from other content creators or cosigns work. And I'm here to debunk that narrative because that's honestly just not the case. Like, they don't boost your platform. They don't get you out of the hood. I think over time, like an extended period of time of them continuously being there, they can help the performance of your platform. But then I would ask, do you want to be known as the sidekick of so-and-so? Like the place where I can also get more so-and-so content. See, what a lot of people had in their minds is that Kai Cenat was going to bring them onto their platform. They were going to be a streamer who had, I don't know, 10 live viewers or 3 live viewers or, I don't know, 50 subs or whatever the case may be. They were going to be there for a weekend. They were going to leave home with either some computer upgrades or camera upgrades. And after he taught them how to use OBS, like he said, or taught them how to transition scenes, taught them how to have a personality, or taught them how to make exciting content, that they would then go home with some sort of stimulus package of 10,000.
My camera is hanging. Luthi. Nini?
Or 20,000 subscribers, you know, a boost in viewership. They were able to quit their job and get out the hood. But no matter what, at the end of the day, if you are not pushing out your own content, if you are not doing the things necessary,
kama unataka kuwekelea kazi, unataka mtu mwingine akutokokoe akutoe hapo. Unadhani watu kama Ray na Rakai na Tailil eventually awange pop off wakiwa na Reggie. Ni juu nani? Ni juu ndio jamaa fulani. I'm Spider-Man. Ni juu hawa say walikuwa already ni ile tu anaonyesha potential, lakini yeye akawafungulia njia. You get what I'm saying?
to push your name and push yourself up there. No stimulus package is going to help you to the extent that I think a lot of people thought was going to happen. Let's be realistic, for real. Like, be realistic for 2 seconds. Let's say Jimmy Jam won Kai Cenat Streamer University contest. Jimmy Jam has 150 subs on YouTube, 10 subs on Twitch, and then like 20 live viewers. He goes to Streamer University for a weekend, and he is able to make content the whole time, have his food paid for, housing paid for, all that. When he gets back home on Monday, what happens to Jimmy Jam? He gets showcased to a new audience, but is that audience really sticking and staying for Jimmy Jam, or the moments that Kai Cenat was on the stream? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Kai Cenat and this streaming university got the internet in a headlock, huh? I'm gonna say this. First of all, who Kai picked, who he wanted up there in his university, that's his business and his prerogative.
I think this is the problem with the internet. The moment mtu anasikia kitu na anasikia na kila mtu anataka kutrend, obviously. Kuna mtu anataka page yake pop off. Na ukipata story yenye watu wanafuata without necessarily going into information, then they started going into information. Unaona tu wana copy paste kenye watu kwenye video nyuma. I do this sometimes. So unapata narrative inapushiwa inakuwa narrative mbaya instead of get to sensical. Lakini unapata mseka huyu mwenye anaongea sense sasa huyu views zake zitakuwa kidogo kuliko kila mtu.
Y'all acting like because y'all know him or because of how much work y'all put in that he was supposed to pick y'all just because of the relationship y'all have with him or because you feel like you worked harder than other people. Listen, it's who get chose. It's like the NBA draft or the NFL draft. If it ain't worked this time, try again later.
And to be honest with you, there were a ton of small and unknown creators that did get into Streamer University. We just don't talk about them because that's not the juicy story. Listen, if you're upset because you didn't get in, that's on you, quite frankly. It's not like you had any sort of real relationship with Kaisenet anyway and have reason to be mad, kind of like Zoe Spencer did this weekend. She was devastated.
It's not about not getting in. And I hope that people don't think I'm some pussy like, oh, this bitch mad because she didn't get in. And that it's not that. It's when it feels personal. It's when you want to hurt somebody or you just try. Like, it's different when it's like, it's like handpicked and it's just so spiteful. That's how I feel. When I saw Zeddy up there, and Zeddy's not a streamer, Zeddy streams with me, and then he just, he streams with people when they call him, that's when I knew, like, damn.
Zoe Spencer has been torn up and down my TL this past weekend because she seemed to be one of the only members of the friend group. I don't even know why. The friend group that got left out of Streamer University. Tylil, Punga, Dez, Zeddy, everyone else from their friend group who we've seen stream over the past couple of years has been included in the Streamer University, but she seemingly got left out. And there's been conversations that we've had on this channel and that others have had about female streamers, their rise, where they can get in and where they fit in. And she just seems to be not only a natural fit, but literally like one of the only options in the WL community to include in this Streamer University. So it seemed a little bit weird and justifiable that she was upset at Kaisenet for not allowing her into the Streamer University. And people called out Kaisenet for this exact situation.
Zeddy on there, but not Zoe? How do you have Dez on there, but not Zoe? How do you have Tylil on there, but not Zoe? How do you have DDG on there, but not Zoe? How do you have Deshae Frost on there, but not Zoe? How do you have Wendy on there, but not Zoe? How do you have Lala on there, but not Zoe? And it's no hate to anybody that I listed. It's just Zoe's been around all these people. She's more popular than some of the people that I named. She's more entertaining than pretty much all of those people I just named.
Now, her being more entertaining has nothing to do with the reason that Kaisenet had given about her doing too much. And I will say this, to me, this one seemed to really resonate with Kai because he announced why she wasn't on the Stream University, like why she wouldn't be a part of it. And to me, it makes a lot of sense.
Read between the lines. No, listen. It started here, September 24th in Atlanta. I ain't never say nothing, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm not holding this against you. I'm not putting it past you because I know who you are as a person. September 24th, Drewski Show. I never got to tell you how that shit made me feel because of who you are and how your humor and like how you are as a person. Nigga, I dead ass for the first time, and my bad I didn't get to like talk about it with you, but like felt secondhand embarrassed, like felt embarrassed.
Now to add context, the clip in question does give off very much secondhand embarrassment vibes.
I just don't like the fact that your man's is spilling shit on me. You got niggas spilling shit on me.
I got guy.
Protecting me. You're not doing shit, bro.
He spilled that on you?
He's spilling on me. You're not doing nothing.
I just came.
Yo, that's real nigga shit, bro. You didn't even pull up with nothing. You a bum ass nigga.
Hey, don't talk to my dog like
Fuck
that.
you, nigga.
I literally just got here.
Fuck you talking about?
Whoa.
Who you? Did you call me?
I apologize.
It was a prank on some Twitch shit. It was a prank.
Cause you be wilding on me, bro.
You call me a bitch? You call me a bitch, nigga?
Yo, help, man.
Bro, y'all are aggressive.
No, Ben, fuck you, Ben. Nigga, fuck you. Nigga, I'm embarrassed you, nigga. You calling me a bitch in front of all these motherfuckers?
Yo, it's quiet.
I don't give a fuck if it's quiet. Fuck, I don't even see nobody, nigga. You calling me a bitch? Fuck is you talking about? Call me a bitch in front of all these motherfuckers.
Zoe, relax.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching.
Look, there's such thing as a joke dragging on for way too long, and I think that that's a problem in this content creation, clip farming, streamer era, is that sometimes the joke just drags on a little bit too much. This is also around the time where the infamous video of Zoe Spencer biting Duke Dennis came out as well. Yeah, I don't necessarily blame Kai. I don't know. She also said some extremely weird conversations and comments, you know, that had to do with Kai Cenat being in a relationship and being weird.
When I see shit like this,
Yeah, y'all ain't never gonna see me with Kai again, boy. And it ain't on no beef shit, it ain't on no funny shit. Y'all just ain't. I'm not even saying nothing wrong. He's in a relationship. It's okay. That's why I'm saying y'all ain't never gonna see me again.
what's wrong with that is, why would you automatically assume that you would never be on my stream again because of me being in a relationship? It makes no sense.
Look, I don't know about y'all, but it's certain women that my girl don't like around, and I'ma respect it just off of the respect of her. If that means that you can't be there, then that means you can't be there. But this goes back to everything that I've said about who you are and the identity that you have as a content creator and how that can follow you for the rest of your life. People don't think about those things. And so when you go out of your way to make a certain type of content, make certain types of claims, you know, people are watching those things. Those things will circle back to these people. And so when you miss out on certain opportunities, you can't do nothing but either blame yourself and, you know, trash these people, or take it on the chin and move on and continue to be great. At the end of the day, though, with all the drama surrounding this seemingly harmless, you know, new idea for getting streamers together in a place based off of something that Kai Cenat really likes and loves, I think that it's one of the greatest things in the world. I think this is just another opportunity for him to showcase people that he likes, people who will be ultimately next up on Twitch, and bring new eyes to people who ultimately deserve a level of respect.
Mtu mwenye amekelea, exactly. Mtu mwenye amekelea kazi akona potential ya grow to that point. Hii mbogi fulani ya kwanza kitu funny ni hawa watu wote kuna wenye walikuwa wanaacha shule. Unasikia ume drop out of school, ume quit your job, you apply for stimulus. Are you dumb? Are you an idiot? Are you dumb?
You know, fame that they are just not getting right now. To those that are upset by not getting into Streamer University, take a look inward and why you didn't get there. Now, it's something to do with just not being a friend of Kai Cenat, but there are smaller streamers on there who you wouldn't align with being friends of Kai Cenat that did get into Streamer University. Take a page out of their book, look at them, study them, figure out ways that you can, you know, take from them and grow and become better content creators. Part of the game of getting into this entertainment industry is being able to study and do research. What are they doing that you're not doing? Are they consistent? Are they inconsistent? What types of clips are they?
Which is something I'm going to do today.
Putting out? What types of games are they putting out? All of that stuff. It's not like he only invited his friends. He invited people that don't even live in the same state or same place. I can almost guarantee you those are people that Kai Cenat watches on a regular basis, you know, peeps in, finds funny or whatever, or sees something in them that is ultimately going to make them bigger one day. Take a page out of their playbook. He literally just gave you a cheat sheet as to who to watch to become bigger. Instead of crying on the internet, watch them and figure it out. Now, if he did stuff with his friends, if you're giving them secondhand embarrassment, I don't know what you can do, but for everyone else that's a small creator, keep grinding. Don't let this situation be the thing that stops you from doing what you ultimately find passionate about. Like, streaming and creating content should be something that you find passion in, not you just doing for the put on. Because if it never comes, would you still do it?
Would you still do it? Would you still do it? If you're never successful, would you still do it? Would I still do it? Absolutely. Facts or cap? Facts or cap? Facts or cap? I'm not gonna lie, my head is sleepy right now. Lakini sasa next ilikuwa nione. What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? Today I'm reacting to the man who sold his soul to the devil. But Johnson, jamani, nimesikia story mara mingi kwa nini.
His name is synonymous with blues. His music made him one of the most iconic figures in his genre. He is cemented as a legend. And yet, very little is known about Robert Johnson.
I enjoy the guitar. What? I love that instrument. I didn't know
29 songs, 2 verified photographs, and hundreds of unanswered questions. Johnson's life, his story, and his artistry is wrapped in mystery.
This man looks lost. See, there's something about these photos. You kama ni fuaka anavuta hapa ama nini, lakini huyu jamaa is gone. There's nobody here.
Questions. Johnson's life, his story, and his artistry is wrapped in mystery to this day, but his music resonates with millions. However, Johnson wasn't always a brilliant musician. In fact, he was considered to be relatively untalented, even up until his early 20s. Allegedly, he improved rapidly on the guitar. So much so that a legend was born that Johnson sold his soul to the devil so that he could become a master of the guitar. Johnson passed away under mysterious circumstances at 27 years old, giving birth to the infamous 27 Club and adding yet another question mark onto his already confusing story.
So basically, I'll talk from novice to super pro in a few weeks. Ayaje. Watuambie alitoa talent yote na moja.
Robert was born on the 8th of May, 1911, to parents Julia Dodds and Noah Johnson in Hazelhurst, Mississippi. His mother had already given birth to 10 kids with her husband Charles, but Robert was born out of wedlock, illegitimately, and had a father who he most likely never met or spoke to. His stepfather, Charles, was a reasonably successful landowner, but after getting into a dispute with a lynch mob, he was forced to move to Memphis, and Robert would eventually be sent there to live with him until he was around 8 or 9 years old. At that age, he moved back to Mississippi to live with his mother and her new husband, Dusty Willis. In his teenage years, Robert began to gain an interest in music and dabbled in some different aspects of it. He learned the basics of the guitar from one of his brothers, and he was cited as being a talented harmonica player. We can also assume that he was writing songs and singing during this time. But all of this wasn't very appealing to his new stepfather,
My camera froze.
Who wanted him to work on the plantation fields. This would lead to a conflict between the two, and while he was still a teenager, Robert would try and find his own freedom and independence. This started when he was 19. He married a 16-year-old Virginia Travis on the 17th of February, 1929, but unfortunately, she would die a year later while giving birth.
What? Oh no, I just realized something. I need a photo of this. I need a picture. I need a photo. It's called a photo.
Robert was now a 20-year-old widow with a stepfather he didn't like, a father he never met, and a wife who had just passed away. And lest we forget, he was an African-American man living in the South in the early 20th century. Basically, Robert had an intense childhood, and his adult life wasn't looking very good either. At this stage, all Robert really had was his music. It was around this time that legendary blues icon Son House moved to a town that was near where Robert lived. All of a sudden, a lost and impressionable Robert Johnson was listening to one of the greatest blues artists of his generation perform live every week at the local juke joint. At this point, Robert had some musical ability, but it was mainly at the previously mentioned harmonica, so he wasn't considered talented enough to perform at these establishments, but during the breaks, Johnson would ask if he could play their guitars. In one of the most famous interviews ever given about Robert Johnson, Son House states that he was terrible and that he was often asked to stop playing.
What?
Follow me and Willie around on Saturday night, yeah, Willie Brown. And every time we stop for rest and sit at a little guitar over in the corner or something and go out to catch air, you know, get the guitar and be trying to play it and be just noising the people, you know. And the folks would come out and say, why don't y'all, some of y'all go in there and make that boy put that, get that thing down, he running us crazy.
Johnson may have been in the correct environment to observe the music he wanted to play, but because of his lack of resources and the ridicule he was subjected to when he attempted to perform, he was in the wrong environment to learn. This may have been the reason he left. He did remarry in 1931, but that didn't stop him from traveling around the South for about a year. This is a confusing space of time that is responsible for many of the myths revolving around Johnson. Some people speculated that he left to try and find his biological father, while others believed that he was exclusively focusing on improving his craft. But the other theory, and strange
timeskip ya 1 year, mshasema ni mashetani. What? Jamani na timeskip.
the most popular one is that Robert Johnson made a deal with the devil. The story goes that Robert Johnson went to a local crossroads with his guitar before midnight. He started playing his songs, and at midnight, the devil appeared. The devil took the guitar and tuned it, played a song, and gave it back to Johnson. This was the transaction, the turning point for Johnson as a musician. He had given up his soul to the devil himself and was a master of guitar. But with this, his soul was doomed to hell and an untimely demise was in his future. The reason people believe that this is what happened is because of a man named Liddell Johnson, who in 1971 said that this was the way to sell your soul and that his brother Tommy had actually done this. There was no relation between Tommy and Robert, but that didn't stop people from taking this tale and attaching it to Robert's name. At least that's how the story goes. It's obviously a far-fetched tale, but it shows us how impressive and quick Johnson's improvement must have been. The only way the public were able to justify his talents was with a story that was this insane, which in itself tells us why Robert Johnson was so good. One thing is almost certain. Between the years of 1930 and 1932, something happened that made Johnson go from being considered embarrassingly bad to one of the greatest guitarists of all time. When he finally returned to play for Son House, nobody was telling him to stop. He was so good, when he finished, all our mouths were standing open. Johnson took his new talents and began traveling with fellow artist Johnny Shines, where he improved his craft even further, but he still hadn't recorded anything and his talents were being wasted. It was the mid-1930s and his second wife had passed away. Johnson was determined to record and make a name for himself. He went into a man named H.C. Spears' store, who worked for the ARC record label. Finally, in November of 1936, Johnson was in a studio recording the first of his almost 30 songs. He would continuously return to record until the summer of 1937. He made okay money doing this and had amassed a small but loyal fan base, but Johnson wasn't a household name by any means. His music had some dark undertones. Songs like Me and the Devil Blues, If I Had Possession Over Judgment Day, Hellhound on My Trail, and of course, Crossroad Blues. Dark themes like hell, the devil, and death were prominent in his music, and this did nothing but add fuel to his already dark image. But this was par for the course for blues. These weren't new thematic explorations, they were cemented attributes of the genre, but people
amepoteza wife yake mara mbili. Sawa. Ila wale anaenda deridi so inamaanisha kufe. Wow, sleepy. Mzee amepoteza wife yake mara mbili. So inamaanisha already ako na the midnight blue. He's already sad. So death and tragedy is a part of his life. So obviously kutakuwa na hiyo themes. But naona hizi stories zake kwenye zinatoka kwa hizi ngoma zake hizi. Hizi saidika. Huwezi tetewa. Hizi tetewa hadi kituko.
emphasized Johnson's dark lyrics to add to the narrative, even though there were hundreds of similar acts doing the same thing. Regardless, the recordings were done, and unfortunately, that would be Johnson's entire discography, because a year later, he would die.
For 7 years.
On the 16th of August, 1938, Robert Johnson, aged 27, was found dead. Very little is known about the specifics of his untimely demise. In fact, the actual date he died wasn't discovered for another 30 years when music journalist Gail Dean Wardlow found his death certificate. It didn't have any cause of death, so we weren't given any answers in that department, but of course, there are theories. The first theory, which is the most plausible and the most boring, he was flirting with a married woman at these dances. Her husband gave Robert a drink, but Sonny Boy Williamson, a fellow musician and friend of Johnson, slapped the drink out of his hand and told him that it was dangerous to accept drinks from unknown people. Johnson was angry at Williamson for doing this, and he accepted a second drink from the husband, which he did consume. Williamson wrote an account about this, and he was a well-respected figure of the blues community who had a confirmed association with Johnson, so it is entirely possible that he was telling the truth. Whether Johnson was actually poisoned is a different story altogether. However, Robert McCormack, a notable blues researcher, claimed that he tracked down the man who killed Johnson and actually got a confession from him. He declined to reveal the name or release the confession, which seems like a strange thing to do. If you were a blues researcher and found out who killed one of the genre's biggest icons, it's very strange that you wouldn't release that information. But these accounts and statements have made this second theory more believable, and a lot of people do believe it to be true. Either way, the end result was the same. Johnson had passed at the young age of 27, with very few answers as to what happened, concluding his already insane life with an ending that was incredibly unfortunate and untimely, but morbidly fitting for such a mysterious and interesting character. Some of his friends, associates, and peers wouldn't find out about his death for a long time, not until they looked for him and realized through word of mouth that he was gone. It seemed as if Johnson would fade into obscurity. For 2 decades after his death, he remained a relatively unknown figure in the music world, but in 1961, Columbia Records released the album King of the Delta Blues Singers, a compilation of Johnson's work that would achieve immense success and bring his music to a wider audience. It was widely considered to be one of the greatest albums of all time, and it solidified Johnson as a blues legend. He was finally recognized, and while he wasn't able to enjoy
marketing is everything, like I always say, marketing is everything. Niko sure hii story ilispiniwa, hii story yenye tuko nayo sasa ilispiniwa na kwa demo, ilispiniwa na record label nini ilispiniwa na record label ku pump sales.
the fruits of his labor,
mtu alisell to the devil ndo kwa musician, na sasa tunataka kusikiza hiyo ngoma.
The world could enjoy his work and admire his greatness. His dream of becoming one of the greatest blues artists of all time was finally realized. Robert Johnson probably didn't sell his soul to the devil, but he did give his soul to blues. It could be argued that what Johnson managed to do in his short life was one of the greatest feats ever achieved by a musician. His short discography changed blues forever and influenced hundreds of notable musicians and continues to do so to this day. He won a Grammy in 1990 for Best Historical Album. His song Crossroad Blues was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame 8 years later, and he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1986. He has been cited as an influence to artists like Mick Jagger, Fleetwood Mac, Bob Dylan, and Eric Clapton. He did all of this in a very short span of time, with a life that was as difficult as any. He overcame it all and persevered to become one of music's most important icons. It's very difficult to distinguish fact from fiction when it comes to this man. The historical inaccuracies, conspiracy theories, and sheer lack of any substantial documentation make his story a confusing one, but one thing is for certain: Robert Johnson was a legend.
I have no idea what it Get the moves. At who's most haunting painting? Sai. What's up, YouTube?
First degree intentional homicide. Going to impose life in prison.
Oh, Steve, I'm talking bad, bana.
Imprisonment without the possibility of extended supervision.
Eh, nini? Ugadila ya wake.
We, the jury, do find the defendant as to count 1, first-degree murder, guilty.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder.
We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
Amuka bana, tunaenda kunywa cabbage.
Guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
This is Diana Lovejoy, a mother and a wife who hired a hitman to take her husband's life.
I'm Diana Lovejoy, and quick meals are my specialty. I know that you don't have all day. We've got malice to feed.
Lovejoy played the role of a perfect wife in front of her neighbors and on her own YouTube channel.
Welcome to my kitchen, where I really like to cook.
That phase where you're trying to figure out content that is still awkward before the camera. Like a robot. No personality, no humanity, no anything.
But I'm often short on time, so speed is the hook.
But behind the scenes, her marriage was falling apart, and she was embroiled in a fierce custody battle with her husband, Greg Mulvihill.
They made a beautiful little boy, but once they conceived, that was the end of their marital relationship.
Lovejoy seemed to come out ahead with full custody, while her soon-to-be ex-husband was limited to supervised visits. But that was not enough, so she accused Greg of sexually assaulting their son to keep him from spending any time with the boy.
What? Here's the problem. These issues zinakuwa so serious to the point. Honestly, nikisikia kuna kitu kama inafanyika, I will believe it. I would believe it, honestly, I would believe it. But then sasa unapatana na masaiko kama hao wenye wana misuse opportunity. Wana misuse hizo nini ndio unapata deep issue. I'm not talking about it today.
Mulvihill described a bitter custody battle in which he was accused of everything from drug use to sexual assault and molestation of their young son.
She also said that Greg abused her as well.
She had made accusations that he sexually assaulted her, was molesting the child, was a drug abuser.
Lovejoy's claims turned out to be false, and Greg was given equal custody of their child.
She wanted complete possession of that little boy.
To make matters worse,
groom him. We know.
She was ordered to pay her husband $120,000 for his share of the family home.
She had 3 months to give him $120,000 cash.
On top of that, she also had to pay him $100 a month in child support. Lovejoy was not happy, so she found a less expensive exit. On September 1st, 2016, at roughly 11 p.m., Mulvihill got a call from someone claiming to have information about Diana Lovejoy.
That he had received a phone call at around 10:30 at night from an unknown number to him.
Mulvihill got a phone call from someone claiming to be a private investigator who had information on his estranged wife, and that person.
I want to be scared away from crazy girls. I always seem to attract crazy girls. Am I that crazy? Am I putting that much bad energy? What?
Told him to go to a dirt road in Carlsbad.
The anonymous caller asked Mulvihill to meet him at an isolated trail in Carlsbad.
He went up a remote trail in Carlsbad the night of September 1st, 2016, out of desperation, fearing his ex might reopen their custody battle.
Desperate to get an upper hand in his legal battle with Lovejoy, Mulvihill agreed to meet the anonymous caller, but took some precautionary measures.
Mulvihill took a friend, a flashlight, and a small aluminum baseball bat, but he thought he was picking up documents from a private investigator.
Mulvihill was hiking up the trail when he noticed a light.
After the second time of shining the light on it and staring at it for a second, I realized I was looking at a barrel and a scope of a gun.
Then he felt something in his back.
Greg Mulvihill said he didn't realize he had been shot at first, and initially he thought he felt something in his back.
What he felt was the bullet leaving his body.
Before he knew what was happening, he was hit once on the side. The bullet came out the back.
Soon after Greg was shot, his friend called 911 to report what had happened.
Hello, this is 911.
Yeah. My friend has just been shot.
Do you know who shot him?
There's a guy lying down like a sniper.
A sniper? Did you see him at all?
Briefly, we saw the gun, and he shot at us like 6 or 7 times. He's bleeding pretty black. My friend's getting lightheaded.
That's okay. I got paramedics en route, okay? I have officers en route. I got help out to you, okay?
Mulvihill's wife was informed about the incident, but she didn't seem to react much at all, which the detectives found suspicious.
Giggling just wasn't appropriate reaction to finding out the father of your child had just been shot and was in the hospital.
Mulvihill could have been killed, yet Lovejoy did not seem to be bothered by the whole thing.
It's not like he didn't get a life-threatening injury. We just happened to live in a time where we have excellent medical care, and he lived.
Detectives' suspicions were confirmed when they saw Lovejoy in a surveillance video from a nearby store. Lovejoy was buying a burner, and the burner's number matched that of the caller. When the detectives told Lovejoy about what they had found, she changed her story.
She tried to come up with a new version of events that had happened.
She said that she just wanted to scare Mulvihill, not kill him.
She also lets us know that
So scare him is still not conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder.
there was eventually a plan to have Weldon McDavid scare her husband.
The man she hired to do the job was her gun instructor, Weldon McDavid Jr.,
The fucking. Nah, don't come for me. You know it's true.
previously appeared on TV for helping a woman defend herself.
Former Marine and firearms expert Weldon McDavid was the clerk that night.
I asked her, "Are you prepared to kill him?"
But this time, McDavid did more than just ask. He got involved with Lovejoy and even slept with her.
They had had sex one
See? Makofi kwangu.
and she felt it was a mistake because he was married and had a brand new couple-of-month-old baby.
Lovejoy's defense was that she paid McDavid to scare her husband.
She told us that she'd given him $1,000 to scare her husband.
McDavid's defense was slightly different. He appeared to have no idea that Mulvihill was shot.
I'm asking you where you were at last, where you get shot. Why do you want me to tell you that?
During the interrogation, McDavid said that he was at home when the shooting occurred. But when asked to hand over his phone to prove it, his attitude changed.
Can you give me access to your phone to show that you were home by 11 o'clock?
Okay, that's fine, Walter. Hey, so listen, that area...
You guys are trying to accuse me of something.
No, we're not.
Dude,
well,
yes, you are. Well, I'm trying to find out your version of events, and you're telling me I don't know, and I'm not giving you access to the only thing that you possess that shows where you were at.
Then he was told that his DNA was found at the crime scene.
Any reason why you would have any DNA in there? And DNA is something that doesn't...
If that phone was good enough to get up in jail, now they're getting your phone.
just fly off and blow down the street. You have to go there to put it there.
But McDavid couldn't even identify the location.
Would you have been there?
I might have been there, right?
Why would you be here?
I don't know. I don't know what's there.
After a while, he remembered that he had gone jogging in the same area, which was quite a coincidence.
You went for a run back here?
Yeah.
Then McDavid surprised the investigators with a new insight.
I know what you're talking about.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Explain it.
He had an explanation for why his DNA was at the crime scene.
I was on
the bushes,
road, just running along, and I did have to. That explains it.
The detectives didn't buy McDavid's story that he just happened to poop where Mulvihill got shot.
How much of a coincidence do you think it would be knowing that the area that you took is the area that Greg was shot in?
They told McDavid that his DNA was on a towel present at the crime scene.
Did you wipe yourself? Did you use a towel or anything?
Yeah.
Where'd you get the towel?
It was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't get it from anywhere else?
I didn't get it from anywhere else.
I saw the towels there.
By that time, the cops had already found a set of matching towels at Lovejoy's home. They also found the smoking gun alongside a huge arsenal of weapons at McDavid's own home. Lovejoy and McDavid were charged with attempted murder in the first degree and conspiracy to commit murder. By the time of the trial, the pair had sorted out their story and were on the same page. The plan was to scare Mulvihill and not kill him.
This is a conspiracy case where they, did this together.
I fired 6 shots in the air, and once they started running, I ceased fire.
But a key detail that went against the duo was provided by Mulvihill, who took the stand to describe how the shooter kept firing even when he was trying to run away.
I could see Jason, and he was probably 30 or so feet ahead of me, heading back towards the car. And while we were running, I heard about 6 more rapid gunshots.
If the plan was just to scare him, then why did McDavid keep shooting when Mulvihill was already scared enough to run away? Aside from debunking the scare tactic narrative, Mulvihill also described the moment he realized what was going on.
About the time I realized what I was looking at, it felt like I had been hit in the back.
Greg's friend also took the stand, describing how the bullets kept raining as the two tried to escape.
And we ran the other direction, away from the gun.
The prosecution's main argument was that McDavid didn't need to fire 6 rounds to scare Mulvihill.
The gunman, lying in the sniper position, shoots 6 to 7 more rounds.
McDavid's defense was a little weird, that if he had genuinely tried to kill Greg, then Greg would have been dead.
Marines are taught if they wanted to kill someone, 2 to the center, mass. 1 to the head.
Lovejoy brought up
2 to the body, 1 to the head.
Had already been
debunked.
She said that she suspected that Mr. Mulvihill was molesting her boy. He had to go through numerous psychological evaluations. He had to see psychiatrists, psychologists, sex therapists. The unanimous conclusion was that this was made up, that he had not molested his little boy.
Investigators had already cleared Mulvihill's name and even deemed him a better parent than Lovejoy.
They ended up determining that actually he was the better parent of the two.
So you don't believe her?
Absolutely not.
Still, the duo kept slinging mud at him.
He was simply trying to help stop molestation of a 3-year-old.
The jury heard both sides and began deliberating. Then it was time to hear the verdict. Lovejoy did not seem ready.
In the Superior Court of the State of California, in and for the County of San Diego, the people of the State of California, same title, same cause. Verdict.
Her expression changed as she heard the verdict.
Diana Jean Lovejoy, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder in violation of Penal Code Section 182.8.
You could see Ms. Lovejoy look over at her defense attorney and what happened? Just shocked disbelief.
Then, as McDavid's verdict was being read, this happened.
Verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled cause, find the defendant, Weldon K. McDavid, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder.
Lovejoy fainted, which led to the judge calling for a break.
All right, we're going to need to take a break.
The deputies tried to take her out of the courtroom, but she fell to the floor.
And if we could have the jury go back into
Lovejoy was ultimately taken out on a stretcher.
Okay, folks.
Okay.
At this point, we need to turn off the courtroom.
Let's go.
Lovejoy was unconscious for a time, then taken to a hospital for treatment. Court was adjourned briefly, then back in session for the 2 verdicts to be read against McDavid.
At her sentencing, Diana tried to play the victim once again, saying she did what she did for her son's safety.
I still care about Greg, and as much as I did love him. I loved him a lot. And I really cared about him, and I still care about Greg. I was sexually abused, and I witnessed my son be molested once. And I did.
How do you molest your own kid?
Take all the steps I possibly could to ameliorate that situation.
She continued to malign her husband, even though the investigators had found him to be the better parent.
And he genuinely is a nice man.
McDavid also spoke at his sentencing, hoping for a lenient sentence.
I did not intend to shoot Mr. Mulvihill. I'm sorry that I shot Mr. Mulvihill. It was an aiming error, as I stated previously.
Once again, he argued that if he had tried to kill Greg, then Greg would not be alive.
If I had intended to kill Mr. Mulvihill, he would have been dead.
Then he turned on the waterworks.
I thought of my son growing up without a father.
You should have thought of that.
My father was killed.
What in prison for some pork? Boom.
My father was killed when I was 24, and I still haven't gotten over that.
You should have thought of that.
I would not take.
You should have thought of that.
A father from a child.
The duo's statements didn't sway the judge, who sentenced Lovejoy to
26 years to life.
McDavid, who pulled the trigger, got 50 years. When McDavid was interviewed in jail, he showed remorse, but only for cheating on his wife with Diana.
It was wholly unsatisfying.
He was what? Oh, how the true plot thickens.
If I could only take back one thing, I would take that, out of the equation.
Being with Diana?
Yes.
The reporter then asked,
You wouldn't take back shooting Greg?
If there was only one thing I could take away, I would take that away, because I hurt my wife, and that means more to me than anything.
Diana Lovejoy got 26 years in prison for trying to get her husband killed. But what happens when a woman beheads her boyfriend?
Yeah, I don't think I can handle another one.
Like in the case.
It's crazy. These people are crazy. These people are insane. Beheading. What? Anywho.
Alright, so we're doing EDC a little bit different this time, obviously. I'm going to be taking a look at everybody else's daily carries, and then doing a bit of a draft and picking my favorites of the bunch.
Big carry.
I don't know what size this is. It's the Moment backpack. It's got lots of pockets. It's got lots of, this thing rules. It's so collapsible. The main pocket is so big. The laptop pocket is so tight. I also am a big fan of sunscreen. I'm also a big fan of the Moment sling pouch. This is what I use as a camera bag when I'm shooting. This thing just constantly amazes me that it has 4 pockets.
I got a bag, and do I recommend it? Not particularly. Is it yellow? Yes.
The thing that houses everything is this main bag from Urban Outfitters. I don't know what it's called, but it was a really cheap bag, about $15. It has a Pai Sho piece from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Nice little accessory on there. Also, a sticker from my niece. On it, I keep a Opal C1 flathead, just in case for any camera plates. They always use a flathead.
So my bag is the Ridge MKBHD edition bag with my own little nameplate on here. Pretty cool. It's very very shilly of me. Yes, I use a lot of Ridge products. Go figure.
My favorite thing about this backpack is that it opens up entirely flat. So like, boom, whole bag open. And then you can use it just like that for the top section. Plus a computer sleeve.
So within this bag, it holds another bag for groceries. This is a Bagoo that Brandon got me for my birthday. Now, this is a magic trick every time. Check this out. Wait, let me do one of these. That's like a 10-gallon hat, no? Like, that's a lot of gallons.
This is the Moment bag. I've heard good things about the Moment bag, and I think that's mostly in build quality. I'm not mad at it. I just happen to like a little more color. I mean, this is truly matte like everything, but a little red accent would be nice. This one's actually interesting. Like, you can get like a phone, some headphones, a little power bank, some cables in here, So yeah, I can tell this is an early prototype version of the backpack because it's missing some of the red aglet thing, accent pieces. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, I daily carry the backpack that I helped design. Shocker.
Okay, so I'm Miles, autofocus producer here at the studio, and this is my EDC. Some things have changed, some things have not. Going into what has not changed, my headphones of choice, the Dyson earbuds.
Dyson.
So I did try the newest pair of Dyson headphones that we reviewed on the MKBHD channel, but firstly, I didn't find that audio quality was substantially improved, and secondly, it didn't come with an attachment point for this bad boy right here, the air filter thing that definitely works. Put it on like that, you're chilling. So I mean, if you catch me at like the grocery store or something like that, this is what you would see.
It's so weird to just look at your life like laid out on a table. It's not a thing you normally do. A lot of the planning and collaboration in this office happens at our desks, so I oftentimes don't want to be totally locked in my headphones. I want to be able to hear what's happening, and oftentimes pass through, it ends up elevating background noises that I don't want to hear. So I use the Bose Ultra Open when I'm at my desk. These are great. They are just hook onto your ears like that, so I can hear everything that's going on around me, but then I can also listen to what's happening on my computer. If for whatever reason I do want to tune my coworkers out, which is rare, then I use Marquez's old AirPods Max. These ones have the lightning port at the bottom, but look, they're great. They sync with your computer, they're really easy to listen to, they keep good charge.
Usually I daily the Nothing Ear A. These are actually the Nothing Ear ones because mine are at home stewing in my sweat because I work out in them a lot. They're great. They got some really good noise cancellation. They're comfortable. It's very designer core. I need everything to be designer core because I am a designer after all.
AirPods Pro 2.
Using AirPods with an Android device is not ideal and it causes so many problems, but these ones just fit my ears really well and I won't be caught dead with those weird like little rubber tip things. So
I love these. Highly recommend splurging for the more expensive ones with noise cancellation, but they're a little bit cheaper. They have USB-C and they're pretty great.
So my headphones are the Audio-Technica ATH M20Xs. The big reason I bought these is because I was living in Chicago and I needed something to keep my ears warm in the winter. Shout out Chicago, greatest city on earth. The other big reason that I like these is honestly because even though the sound quality is solid and the hardware is solid and the battery life is great, I like these because if I lost them, I would be okay with that reality.
This is now the third time I've come on an EDC video with the same headphones, Focal Bathies. Are these the best headphones for an audio professional? No. Are these the headphones I would recommend to someone who wants to buy nice headphones? No. Are they the best headphones for what I do here? Probably. I haven't found anything that I like more. They sound great. They have very low distortion in the mid-range, which is really important for me when I'm mixing. I would never tell anyone to buy them. They're like, at least when they came out, they were $600, which to me is like way too much for a non-production headphone.
Whoever put these there is trolling me. That's fine. Dyson headphones, I don't even think they sound good as headphones, let alone this part. So, Miles, yeah. I'm gonna say for my flying on a plane headphone pick, I'll go with the Focals. I think this is gonna be awesome. And I think for my walk around the studio earbuds experience, I'm gonna go with the Bose Open Ultras. I think these are both really solid.
The Bathy's noise canceling is, it's not bad, but it's not airplane.
It's not airplane? Would you fly on a plane with them? No? Now, considering I specifically would want headphones like this to get on the plane and be in my own world, that's gonna matter. That's gonna weigh in for me. So I'm switching to the AirPods Max, but yeah, keeping the Bose. So earbud, headphone.
for my wallet, I like to use one of the Ridge MKBHD wallets. I like having the elastic, so it's not just like a hard clamshell. I can just like open it and just kind of see what's in there. My pockets are very small, and so my wallet has to be very tiny.
I'm not a super like opinionated like wallet person, but I've been using the Ridge wallet and I like it. I have yet to find myself wanting to go back to a more traditional style wallet.
Ridge makes metal wallets, which are cool, and I've tried them, but like for everyday carry, they're just not for me. So I was really waiting for them to come out with a leather wallet or a soft wallet, and they did. So this is the leather bifold, and I really like it. I have a couple cards in here, some cash, and it's still so slim. Like, look at that.
I don't like the slim wallets. I don't like the push wallets. I don't like the metal wallet. Like I've never
Don't like wallets.
enjoyed those. But I do like a good old fashioned bifold. I got cards. I got my ID. I got 500 pesos. I'm definitely one of those people that has way too much stuff in their wallet at all times.
Usually people carry one wallet, but I have two because this one holds all the cards, specifically my Yu-Gi-Oh card. This second one just holds cash because I don't like holding cash. And this one, you can't hold that much cash in a card wallet. But in a pouch, you could put coins in here, your Chuck E. Cheese coins.
My wallet is this lovely wallet from Segrid. My favorite thing about this wallet is where I got it. I was in the Netherlands and I was like, damn, they built these canals how many hundreds of years ago and they still hold up? So I figured if I was going to buy something that I'd use every single day that would have a moving piece, I may as well get it in the Netherlands where they clearly have a lot of engineering prowess. While there's a little bit of scuffing on the leather on the outside, I actually think that it gives it character, makes it feel like it's more of mine, and its utility, its ability to open up regularly, and its, I don't know, general walletness. Still pretty solid.
I've never, oh, what? Actually, that's kind of fire. Okay, so these are all the wallets. Me personally, minimal wallet person. These are kind of like the more foldy, traditional types. Full grain leather wallet. It's pretty nice. Look, your boy loves a Ridge wallet. But I like a soft wallet more. The Trove wallet, which I also really like, carried for a long time. Yu-Gi-Oh card, another great design. You guys are really outdoing it. But I think I'm gonna stick with this small, slim one. Second place is definitely this. It's too thick for my liking, but that's fire. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with, this is actually a Ridge wallet? Oh, sick. I didn't even know this was a Ridge wallet. Yeah, I'm sticking with the minimal one, couple cards, a little bit of cash if I need it. Probably won't have it though, just like 6 or 7 little pieces of plastic in my back pocket.
Watch. This is a watch that is called the Solid State Watch. It is from our friends in Brooklyn called CW&T. Rich knows. I don't, but Rich knows. CW&T. Basically, it is a watch that is encased in resin. It lasts about 10 years. And after that, it becomes a paperweight. But what I love about this is it's funky looking, but it's a conversation piece. It's a funky watch.
So I use a OnePlus Watch 3 as like a Android guy. I think this is the best Android watch out there, pretty much bar none.
So I wear 2 watches some days, and everyone makes fun of me, and that's okay. This is my preferred watch. It's a Tissot Visodate. I like it because it's automatic. So hopefully you guys can hear this. It's just a nice wristwatch. It goes with everything. It's pretty classic. The other watch I carry, Apple Watch Ultra 2.
I wouldn't say I'm like a gym bro or anything like that, but I do take my fitness relatively seriously. And that's why I have the Apple Watch Ultra, because you buy the Ultra for ultra fitness.
Even though, yes, people say it's not very accurate for the calorie counter, step counter, whatever, it at least has something for me to keep track. And so far, within about 3 months, in 4 months, I'm down 20 pounds.
And this watch helped me keep track of my fitness during our week-long fitness competition that we ran here in the studio, where I actually took the victory. I swept everyone, including Marquez. It wasn't even close for pretty much anyone. I know some people would argue that a Pixel watch would be a better choice, especially given that I don't use iOS as my main daily driver smartphone.
I can understand why